What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Master Duel Gate Guardian deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because we finally got Gate Guardian support in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which is extremely exciting because this deck is really powerful and super fun to play. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting your requested deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing a single copy of Sanga of the Thunder. This card is a definite one-of in the build because it helps us go in for all of our Gate Guardian fusions. We then play 2 copies of Kazujin. I feel like 2 copies is perfect for this deck because we can use this card with Magician Souls to be able to summon out our copy of Magician Souls, which is really important because this card is a spellcaster, which is really cool for this build. We then play a single copy of Suijin. Suijin is really good as a one-of in the build, but you really only need a single copy of Sanga and Suijin because you can get to them so easily with a bunch of cards in this build. But your copy of Kazujin is involved in the majority of the really good fusions in the deck, which is why we play this card at 2. We then play 3 copies of Labyrinth Heavy Tank. This card is an amazing normal summon in the deck because you don't even have to tribute to summon out this card, which is so cool. Because you can normal summon this card without tributing, but it cannot attack the turn it's normal summon. And during your main phase, you can actually place one of your Gate Guardian pieces in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, which is an amazing ability. Then if you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can destroy one monster that your opponent controls, which is an amazing effect because a lot of the cards in the deck help you get your copies of your Gate Guardian pieces in the form of Sanga, Kazujin, and Suijin and face up in the spell and trap card zone so you can make your fusion plays, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth. This card is basically terraforming for the deck, and it gets you your copy of your field spell Labyrinth Wall Shadow, which is so cool about this card because you can discard this card to add a copy of a Labyrinth Wall card from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be the field spell that you're searching off this card's ability. But it also has the effect that at the start of the damage step, if your opponent's monster battles while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can banish this card from the grave to destroy that opponent's monster, which is an insane ability that it basically makes the field spell attack, which is really cool. We then play 2 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. Prisma is amazing in this deck as a 2-of because it can turn into any one of your Gate Guardian pieces while also putting them in the graveyard, which is insane because it has the ability once per turn. You can reveal a fusion monster from your extract and then send one of the materials that's listed on it from your deck to the graveyard, and then this card's name becomes the sent monster's name until the end of the turn, which is really cool because you can reveal your copy of Gate Guardian combined to send any of the Gate Guardian pieces to the graveyard, so you have one in the grave to banish for your copy of Gate Guardian combined, but you also technically with this card have a Gate Guardian piece face up on the field so you can step into one of your other fusion plays, which is amazing. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is a really good 3-of in the deck because it helps you draw because your Gate Guardian pieces will place themselves as basically continuous spell cards face up in the spell and trap card zone, so you can't send them to the graveyard off the effect of Magician Souls to be able to draw cards. Plus, this card basically is Foolish Burial for your copy of Kazujin because this card has the ability that to summon out this card, you have to send a level 6 spellcaster monster from your deck to the grave. A level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the grave, which your copy of Kazujin is a level 7 spellcaster, making it the perfect target to be able to send to the grave to summon out your copy of Magician Souls. Plus, this card has the ability you can send up to 2 spells and traps from your hand or field to the grave to draw that many cards, making it a definite 3-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is a great 1-of in the deck to be able to use to search out your copy of Magician Souls, which is just amazing about this card. We then also play 2 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. This card is at 2 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which is why we play this card in the build. Plus it's a level 7, so it can help us make rank 7s. But this card is amazing because if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. It also has the ability to search out another Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand once per turn. And also, when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can actually target one face-up card your opponent controls and banish it face down, which is amazing to spot remove cards off the field. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is an amazing 3-of in the build just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Maxi. Maxi is insane in this build as a 3-up because it's still at 3 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. This card is crazy. It basically lets you draw a card every time your opponent special summons. They either stop special summoning or take the Maxi challenge, which is crazy because we're going to draw into so many different plays with this card. It's going to be insane. This card is really good in the deck. It's always going to guarantee you at least 1 draw, but usually it stops your opponent's turn in their tracks. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Ryokyu Guardian. This card is a really good OTK piece because it has the ability, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can target one monster you control with Gate Guardian in its original name, half your opponent's life points, then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points, meaning that card is going to gain like 4,000 attack points, pushing your copy of Gate Guardian to 7,750, so you can OTK your opponent. This card also has the ability you can banish this card from your grave to add one of your Gate Guardian pieces that's banished or in your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability to help you recover your cards. We then play 2 copies of Double Attack, Wind and Thunder. This card is really good in the deck as a 2-0 because it has the ability, if you control a copy of a Gate Guardian monster, then you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it, and it also shares a similar effect to your copy of Ryokyu Guardian that you can, during your main phase, banish this card from your graveyard and then add one of your Gate Guardian pieces that's banished or in your deck to your hand, which is great to be able to grab them from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Preparation of Rites. Preparation of Rites is a 2-of in this build because it searches out your copy of Illusion of Chaos from your deck to your hand, so you can get your copy of Magician Souls, basically playing like 6 copies of Magician Souls, which is really good. If you already have your copy of Illusion of Chaos or you already have your copy of your Magician Souls, you can use this card as a discard card to be able to use with your copy of your Magician Souls to get you an additional draw, which is really nice. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great as a 2-of in the build just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 3 copies of Labyrinth Wall Shadow. Labyrinth Wall Shadow is a crazy powerful field spell. It really makes the deck work extremely well and helps the consistency of the build because this card is not a once per turn to place the Gate Guardian cards on your side of the field. It's a once per copy, which is super cool, making it a soft once per turn. This card has the ability that monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher, which is a really cool ability about this card, and I absolutely love it because it helps you from getting OTK. It also has the ability once per turn. During your main phase, you can place one of your Gate Guardian pieces from your hand or your deck face up in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, which is really cool to be able to just put them on your side of the field, and I love that it can also recover them from banish, which is just amazing. It also has the ability at the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can target one monster your opponent controls with less than 1,600 attack and destroy it, which if your opponent doesn't know that effect, it's going to be really surprising that the field spell attacks. That's really cool because in the anime, the field spell really did attack, which is super cool and just really nostalgic that they worked that into the card. We then play 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. Fusion Deployment is really good in the deck as a 3-of because this card basically says special summon a Gate Guardian piece from your deck, and it's basically e-tele for your Gate Guardian pieces, which is just super cool. It does lock you into fusion summoning for the turn, but that's not that big of a deal because we're basically just summoning out our Gate Guardian boss monsters, and it's really amazing. We then play 3 copies of A Hero Lives. This card makes you pay half your life points if you control no monster to be able to special summon an elemental hero monster from your deck, which is always going to be your copy of Prisma, so you can use its ability to Foolish Barrel away one of your Gate Guardian pieces, which is just really, really good. I love that about this card, and it makes it so easy to be able to put a Gate Guardian combined on your side of the field, or even one of your other Gate Guardian fusion monsters. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Gate Guardian combined. This card is amazing as a boss monster, and it's just absolutely crazy. It does require 1 each of the Gate Guardian monsters or Gate Guardian materials to be able to make this card. Your copies of Sangha, Kajin, and Sujin to be able to make this card. And it must be special summoned from your extract by banishing the above cards from your field, hand, or graveyard, which is absolutely insane how easy it is to summon this card out to your side of the field. It also has the ability when your opponent activates a card effect that targets any card that you control, quick effect, you can negate the effect of that card, and if you do, destroy that card. And you can only use the effect of this card up to thrice per turn. It's a thrice per turn negate for targeting, which is absolutely insane. That's so cool that this card is actually a thrice per turn negation. It also has the ability this card replaces itself, which is super cool, is if this face-up special summon card is in its owner's control, is destroyed or removed from the field by your opponent's card, then you can actually special summon a level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from your deck or extract, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is so cool that it basically just replaces itself and loses one of the pieces and turns into a different Gate Guardian fusion monster, which is so cool. We then play 2 copies of Gate Guardian of Wind and Water. This card is amazing to be able to play, and I love this card because it just requires a copy of Kajin and Sujin to be able to make this card, and it must be special summoned from your extract by banishing the above cards that you control, which all the 2-piece Gate Guardian fusion monsters actually require you to control the monsters, where your copy of Gate Guardian Combined can be used from the hand, the field, or the graveyard to be able to make Gate Guardian Combined. But this card is a twice per turn spell trap negate, but it cannot be used in the same chain. And if this card is destroyed or removed from the field by an opponent's card, it has the ability that you can special summon one of your banished Kazujin or Sujin, basically giving up one of the pieces to be able to summon out the other piece, which is just super cool. We then play a single copy of Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind. Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind is great because this card lets you search out a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that mentions one of your Gate Guardian pieces, which is just super cool to be able to do. And I love that about this card, to be able to just search out your copy of Double Attack Wind and Thunder because it's on the card. And it also searches out your copy of Ryoku Guardian so that you can OTK your opponent. We then play a single copy of Gate Guardian of Water and Thunder. You don't summon this card all that often, but it's really good to OTK your opponent, and it's a good option because it has the ability to quick effect, target one face-up monster that your opponent controls, and change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn, which is a pretty good ability for this card to have, to basically just reduce a monster's attack down to 0. We then play a single copy of Dark Armed, the Dragon of Annihilation. You guys know I had to work in a Dark Armed Dragon into the deck somewhere, and this deck is the perfect deck to be able to do that because it is a level 7 focused deck. And this card is really good to be able to put on your side of the field because it lets you basically pop 2 cards on the field by banishing 2 cards from your graveyard, but it can't attack for the rest of the turn, but you can go into the battle phase, and then during main phase 2, basically pop the cards, which is super cool because it says for the rest of the turn. It doesn't say this turn, but it says for the rest of the turn. So it's really cool to be able to do that, to pop 2 and then basically, or get the attack and then pop 2. We then play a single copy of Big Eye. Big Eye is great because it takes control of an opponent's monster, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code's great to be able to play in the deck because it does pop cards on the field and it comes out absolutely massive. We then play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. We then play a single copy of Selene so we can climb up into the copy of Access Code, and plus we do play Magician Souls and Kazujin in the deck, which is just really good. Play a single copy of the Dark Charmer. We can make this card very easily so we can climb into a copy of Selene and then Access Code, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of IP. IP is great in the deck as a one-of to be able to make your copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn. Play a single copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is really good in the deck as a one-of because we can bring back monsters from the graveyard by summoning a copy of one of our Gate Guardian fusions into a zone this card points to. And then finally play a single copy of Linkribo. Linkribo is great in the deck as one-of because we do play level 1 monsters in the deck, so it's very easy to summon out this card to your side of the field with your copy of Magician Souls to be able to protect your copies of your Gate Guardian monsters from attacks, which is just really amazing. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Gate Guardian before, now is the perfect time now that it's in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I absolutely love this deck. It's amazing to be able to play, and I'm really excited to play this deck on Master Duel. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.